So just real quick here, you guys are not going to drag me into this true helper hate thing, but this is somebody that we know, somebody that we're concerned with. I'm interested in the story. However, I don't feel like that. See, this is the way I've heard it. I heard that true helper was involved in a fight, breaking up a fight, and that while he was in that fight, he put the perpetrator in critical condition and was shot in the back, and that he was in critical condition in the hospital. That's what I heard. I come from the true crime community. This is someone that I know and have no reason to not respect. He's never done anything to me. It's been quite helpful, quite insightful. I like getting on panels with him. If you look on the panels that him and I have been in together, we've always been respectful. It is normal for people to question things. Okay? It is normal for people to want the big word in this community is receipts. Okay? So I looked into the crime that was supposed to be in his area, and I didn't see anything of it. That doesn't confirm or deny anything. Just means I didn't find anything. So, and, this is the second time that I've listened to True Helper state that he broke up a fight and was shot. Second time. So just because, we're all here, we question things, we evaluate things. I wouldn't be talking about this at all had it not been put out there. I believe that his wife told someone what was up. Someone immediately took his information about this thing and put it out there for us. So you can't expect people to not wonder. Now, as far as digging into who he is, where he lives, doxing him, I'm not interested in any of that. I don't care what his name is. I don't care where he lives. He's someone that I know and have no reasons to not respect on this platform. So I'm concerned. I want to know the story. I want to hear the story. So what it looks like we have is a good Samaritan broke up a fight, put the perpetrator in critical condition, and ended up in critical condition himself. So to me, that would be a huge news story. That would be out there. That would be a thank you for the good Samaritan. That would be a pretty good sized news story. Now, I had a friend here at the Hasty Tasty in Dayton, Ohio. One of his friends called him because he was about to get jumped outside. This guy's name is Chris Carmichael. So he lived a few blocks away, and he came over to the Hasty Tasty on Linden Avenue in Dayton to try to break up the fight, and one of the guys shot and killed him. So I'm concerned. I want to know about this story, not for dislike, because I like True Helper. Who doesn't? He does nothing. He's not negative. He's not a negative person. So when people are asking questions like, why would people want to know, and why, I'm talking in general. I'm talking in general. Receipts is a big word in this community. It's a huge word. If someone thinks someone's lying about someone, if someone has a truth, receipts or it didn't happen. I've been hearing this being preached for the longest time. So anybody could say anything, and something serious could happen in their life. And it's always been, where's the receipts? And these are facts. Okay. Where's the receipts? People, and in all honesty, there's been people that put up stuff about me with no receipts, and it's been accepted. Okay. So if True Helper got harmed while trying to do something good, not everyone is going to just say, oh, okay, that's the way it happened. They're not. Because we know his character, the character that he gives us here on YouTube, but we don't know him. Now, let's look at it like this. Let's say Ben Ashworth. Let's just use him as an example. No pun intended. Let's say Ben Ashworth had this same story. How many people wouldn't believe it? How many people would beg him for receipts? Okay. And I'm not asking for any receipt. I'm not asking. I'm just speaking in general. People keep saying, why do people want to know? Why do people want to know? If his wife texted someone, in my opinion, that's where it should have been left at. You don't put it on a panel and then wonder why everybody's talking about it. We're talking about it because it was put out there. And I know that in this community, when something bad happens, if something bad happened to Laura, if something bad happened to Makeup Mobster, if something bad happened to people that we normally don't like, we band together. But when we band together, we want to offer support. We want receipts. That's a fact. I absolutely got nothing against True Helper. But, yeah, and then people go, oh, that's not very Christian-like to question things. We question things. Now, am I questioning whether it happened or not? What I'm saying is I haven't seen it. I haven't heard from True Helper at this point. I know that he said on Smokey's live at one point that he was shot at another time while breaking up a fight. So if I would go out here tomorrow, if I would come on here tomorrow and said, hey, I broke up this fight and I got shot in the back, how many people wouldn't believe it? Anybody? That doesn't give anybody any reason, Laura, to dig into his personal life. It's nothing wrong with looking up this. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with looking for the story because it's a huge story. Now, advice for True Helper is he's a smart individual. What you would have is an attempted murder. You would have, because it would be a felony attempted murder on his life. And whatever city or state that he lives in, he's going to be a victim of that crime. He's going to be a witness for the state. And any logical DA would say, do not speak about this crime on social media. Now, Tracy said, yeah, Brian, you were a witness for the state. And Tracy was the one that kept telling me, don't speak about it. Don't talk about it. Don't speak about it. Right. But I wasn't a victim in that crime. And nor was I about to take the stand. He is a victim of this crime. At this point, if we go on just what he tells us, and when I say, and with just being real here, if we go on what he tells us, now what we see, what we know of True Helper is a name, a picture, and a voice. So if we go on what he tells us, he is the victim of a crime. So he shouldn't. I would suggest that he don't speak about it. I would suggest that he doesn't speak about it. Some of the comments over in Tracy's were just outrageous. That's not very Christian-like to question things. Christians question everything. Everything. They question themselves first. So do I believe or disbelieve that this didn't happen or did happen? No, I just don't know. All I know is somebody said it happened. And all I know that for the last 2 years, people, when I say I didn't do this and I didn't do that and I didn't do, people want receipts, right? I have no idea why Smokey did that. I don't associate with Smokey anymore. That's between Smokey and True Helper. I don't know, and I think it's uncalled for. But I don't associate with Smokey anymore. I offered to help Smokey with his addiction issues many different times, and he's never taken me up on it. Right. Well, these people that say that's not very Christian-like. Well, let me tell you something. Christians question everything. We have to. We're people. We all fall short of the glory. And, again, that he who's without sin cast that first stone. I like it when somebody with the name Misnomer, which is one of my haters, been around forever, wants to question that. See, I tell you all that I have a new faith now. And that I'm trying to follow a certain way. It seems like people want receipts for that, and they just simply don't believe it. So what's the difference? Now, I come from the true crime community, so when we see a crime, we want to dig into it. We want to take a look at it, especially when it's somebody that we know that's never done anything to us personally. He's never done anything wrong to me. He's always been nice. He speaks very eloquently. He's a nice guy, but this is the second time I've heard him say that he got shot trying to break up a fight. And then my personal take on it. Yeah, my personal take on it is that, this is not the first time and the second time that it happened. Just like getting hit by lightning twice. I'm not going to sit and attack True Helper. I'm not going to sit and say this never happened. Hey, I'm not going to sit and say that this never happened. What I'm saying is I don't know. And as skeptical as this community is, hang on just a second. As skeptical as this community is, there's going to be people that say, hey, we want to see what happened. And that's just the way it is. We want to see it. We want proof, basically. I'm not going to be one of these people, but I just don't. I'm not so naive that I just believe what somebody says just because they said so. I mean, sue me. I'm not calling a man a liar. I'm not saying that it never happened. I was just having a discussion about a discussion. So you're not going to put me in the lines with Smokey or Laura. You know, I got my eyebrow raised. I'm like, you know what I mean? Just like a lot of people are, but won't come on here and admit to. Okay? That's all. So these people are not going to put me in that category. If this happened to True Helper, then, you know, I would send out my blessings that, hey, at least he stuck up for somebody that couldn't stick up for themselves, and he got himself harmed in the first place. But the bottom line is it rolls back to this. People are doing panel after panel after panel saying, let's not talk about this. It's none of nobody's business. Well, Tawana, as much as I respect you and I like you, when his wife told you what happened, you should have kept that between True Helper, his wife, and yourself. Because now you're saying he wouldn't want anybody to talk about it. And you all act like you're getting angry with me for questioning it. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe you should have kept it to yourself, Tawana. You know, just being real. So if people don't like the real opinion, if people don't like what I'm saying here, then I'm sorry for you. You know, you can't do panels of talking about something and tell people don't talk about it. It's his business. That makes no sense. Okay, his wife told her to let people know. Okay, so then if his wife told her to let people know, you can't come back and say it's nobody's business because she wanted people to know, right? So you can't do that. You can't say, well, we wanted y'all to know this, but we don't want you to talk about it. That makes no sense. True Helper hasn't asked anybody for anything. He's always offered good advice to people. He comes on panels. He's respectful. He did put his 2 cents in on a situation that was happening with me, but he also promised to get to the bottom of it. Right? So if his wife wanted us to know, now we know. And you can't expect everybody to go, yep, it's 100% written in stone. It definitely happened. Hey, there's going to be those people, including myself. Not that I have doubts, but I would feel more reassured if I knew more about the specifics of it. You know, because, again, the real of it is, we're going on what? A screen name, a picture, and a voice tells us. See, I come in here with my real name. Everybody knows who I am. And I say that I did this, and people still don't believe me. It's annoying. But they'll believe inadvertently, with no question, what a screen name, a picture, and a voice says, with no questions asked. And here I am in my real name, with my real voice, telling people that I've made this change. I'm trying to be a positive person, and people don't believe it. Makes no sense. Yeah, and you know, like I said, True Helper at this point, according to what I have heard, is the victim of a crime. He is a witness and a defendant in a case where an attempted murder, or at least a felonious assault, has occurred. So any DA would tell him to not give the specifics of the case at all to anyone. Yeah, I don't think he scammed anybody. And I don't care what True Helper looks like. Hello, Jenna. I would like to cover the story. Hi, Carla. I would like to cover the story simply because he's someone that I know, and I have no reason to not respect him. I would like to know more about the perpetrator. What happens to the perpetrator? I'd like to follow the court case. There is going to be a trial according to the story. I would like to follow that because I come from the true crime community. And when it's somebody that I know, I'm just that much more interested. So maybe at some time he will put out the information. It could be Jenna. I don't know. I look, with that fight, now Carla and Miss D are my friends, and I really respect them. I like them. So I'm not going to get involved in that fight, and I'm not going to have any of it happen on my channel. But I'm telling you what, Carla and Miss D and Life with Jen, those are my friends. It's all good. Okay, well, it could be. Because I'm not gonna jump on that bandwagon with that particular fight. I know that Miss D and Carla are able to handle themselves. I know that Jenna and them can handle themselves. If what we talk about in private, that's different. That's different. I've learned, I've white knighted for people in the past, and sometimes it doesn't help. But I can see that Carla and Miss D and Jen, they can handle themselves with poise and dignity. So I'm not going to, I want to remain neutral in that, but I want to make it the point that those are my friends. Nanya's not done anything to me. I've heard this and that. She's not done anything to me. There's Charlie girl. Neither is Jenna. I don't like the friction between everyone, and I wish it wasn't happening. But, of course, we have some friends we like more than others. And right now, Carla and Miss D and Jen and a couple of the other ones that come in there, those are the ones that I'm leaning towards because they've never done me wrong. Okay, that's okay. That's okay if it was a troll account because all it said was hi. And like I popped into Jenna Moon's the other day and I said hello to everybody, and Jenna said hi. I've got nothing against her. I just wish the whole thing would stop. I really do. I didn't time out nobody. I didn't time out anybody. No. And I've told them too. I said occasionally I'll pop over there. I've got I'm not in that fight. I'm just not in it. I can, the support that I give my friends can be done elsewhere, and that's fine. Well, I didn't time her out. I don't know, but I don't know. Well, Samara, I don't know. I don't know about troll accounts. We can't really. Okay, Samara, let's go back to what I was talking about. You said that troll account is Life with Jen, right? Because you know that. Then how do we know who True Helper is? That's kind of my point. I mean, like it's like you automatically know that this is Life with Jen, right? Well, how do you know that? I don't want you guys fighting on here. I don't want you guys fighting on here, Samara. As a matter of fact, look, Samara, you got my email. I'm just going to go ahead and end it. I'm just going to go ahead and end the live because I really don't want you ladies to be fighting on my here at all. But how do we know that, Samara? See, now you're questioning something. We don't know that. We don't know that for a fact. We don't know that. Samara, I don't want this to turn into a shouting thing. It doesn't matter. Okay, whatever that. Look, the Jenna Moon that came in here was not being disrespectful. It was not being. It's okay, but I'm not upset. All they said was hello, so I'm not upset if that was Jenna, and I even said hi back to. If Jenna was to come in here right now and just be respectful, I would allow it. I've got no issue. I haven't really seen all this stuff. I know what one side says and the other side says. I lean towards Carla and Miss D because they've been very, very good to me. So, at any rate, I didn't mean for this to end up this way. Well, Samara, I think you're upset right now. It probably wouldn't be a good idea to bring you on. The Jenna Moon that came in here, whether it was a troll or not a troll, wasn't being disrespectful. So it's not an issue with me if it was a troll or not. Okay. Okay. I really don't want you ladies to be fighting on my panel. But the thing, I'm gonna go one more time and say, look, if this happened to True Helper, I send out my condolences and my respect and my admiration for a man who stuck up for someone else and got himself injured. The conversations that we've been having in the chat is just general conversation. No one is jealous or not jealous of him. As a matter of fact, I respect him. You know, I like smart people. I think what Laura's doing and what Smokey is doing is not correct. But I can't sit here and tell you that I'm not interested in that entire story in its entirety. Okay. You guys have a better day. I just don't want you two to be arguing in here. Tomorrow I would let you up, but I know that you're heated right now and you might say something you don't want to say. Okay, sweetheart? You know, Samara, they know, I'll tell you now, they know that, I mean, I've got a connection with you more so, you know, if I could bring our friendship back to where it was before, that I would, with you in particular. So I don't want to have any bad vibes with anybody over there because I haven't done anything to Jenna or Nunya. They haven't done anything to me except for raise an eyebrow about what's been going on with all of y'all. Okay, I'm gonna pop off of here. True Helper, much love, much respect. But if you see me discussing that, don't look at me as like somebody that's digging into his life. I look for the story. I didn't see the story, and that doesn't mean it didn't happen. And I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm saying that people that are now just accepting something that was said, I don't want to hear anything about receipts anymore. You know, because we all want receipts when it comes to somebody that we don't like so much. Receipts. Okay. Don't have that double standard. More power to you all. Peace and chicken grease.